Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the 9 Frames podcast. This is episode 89, and it is Friday, April 5th, 2024. I am Bill Whalen.
And I'm Mike Whalen.
Be sure to catch us, as always, on YouTube at 9 Frames Podcast. Our Spotify is 9 Frames, and our X is at 9 Frames Pod. Please follow us on there. Subscribe, like, comment, and share if you enjoy the show.
Yeah, we're getting on a little bit of a roll here now. We've got endless amounts of stuff to talk about. With the baseball season fully being here, and it honestly couldn't be better.
Yeah, I mean, we would have a little bit more to talk about if it wasn't that Wednesday to Friday gap, so a lot of teams had Thursday off, and those Wednesday games kind of got messed up because there was some ugly weather around the country in general, so we will talk about what we've got, and unfortunately, it is some bad news to start it.
Yeah, definitely. We'll get right on into it.
And we will start this episode off with some straight-up news. It really came out of nowhere here. This news is about the Athletics, which is the only thing they will be known as from 2025 to 2027, as they will play their home games in Suter Health Park in Sacramento, California, with an option for a fourth year as they attempt to have the Vegas Stadium ready for the 2028 season.
Yeah, and they're not, like you just said, they're not going to attach the Sacramento A's tag to them or anything like that. They're just going to be the Athletics or the A's for the next 4 years, possibly, and it's just so wrong, man.
I've never seen anything like it. I don't know how it's going to look on the calendar, because what is their abbreviation now?
A's.
There's no apostrophe in the abbreviations.
They're going to have to.
Like, are they just A now? Are they A? I don't understand. They're not Oakland, they're not Sacramento next year, and they're not Vegas. They will just be the Athletics.
Yeah, and I mean, in all fairness, I think that, which is really sad to say, them playing in this minor league stadium is going to be an upgrade because the Coliseum is an absolute shithole.
At least it might fill out, too.
Like, no, but I'm just saying, like, for the players. Like, apparently, like, their toilets back up.
Yeah.
It's like, there's raccoons and rats and shit. Like, the stadium is a shithole.
We have heard that for a long time,
so,
yeah.
Them playing in a stadium that's actually up to date and maintained might be a little bit better, but it's going to be very weird because there's, like, a 10,000 person capacity.
Yeah.
They don't really draw much more than that now. They're struggling to break 4,000 because who the hell's going to watch that team when they're currently under the ownership that they are? John Fisher is a terrible owner, probably the worst in all of sports, I would say.
Right.
He's kind of just a douchebag.
I mean, I've never seen an owner lose a city.
Did you hear what he said?
He is losing a city.
I'm getting myself fired up. Did you hear what he said? Because if my owner said this, I would literally never root for this team again. He said he can't wait until stars like Aaron Judge hit home runs in this stadium, Suter Health Park, against his team.
So, yeah, I mean, that's the only way that's happening because players like that are not coming to
you kidding me?
The Athletics. Yeah, that's crazy.
You're excited to see your team get beat up in a minor league stadium? Dude, make him sell the fucking team.
Yeah, and the ownership and I guess the Athletics, it's so weird. I keep wanting to call them Oakland, but they're not. The Athletics.
They are for this year.
Yeah, the Athletics ownership and whoever was making the deal really have been shady this whole time. Originally, Oakland offered them a 5-year, $97 million extension on the lease. That's way too much because it is a shithole, as you said.
Yeah.
But as of this deal being made, Oakland officials were working with them as of 2 days ago, trying to get out a deal. They offered 3 years, $60 million, which got ignored, and then the Athletics officials quickly turned around and made this deal for an undisclosed amount of money.
$20 million a year?
To play at your stadium.
That's crazy. They wouldn't do it.
Nope, they would not do it. And I don't know how much they're paying for this place, but it has to be significantly less.
I saw they wouldn't offer up more than what the Angels are paying, like Robert Stevenson.
Yeah, I mean, think about
to
it, dude.
play
That
in their
is
home
insane.
stadium. It's disgraceful. It's past insane. It's disgraceful, and
this is a franchise with 9 world championships and either 14 or 15 pennants.
And
it's
they had
serious.
One of the most passionate fan bases in all of baseball.
You didn't even have to be a great team, and they would fill it.
They've completely ruined it. Like, nobody cares about them anymore, and they shouldn't. They just shouldn't.
Yep. The new location of the A's, like you said, it does sit roughly 14,000 as opposed to the 63,000 that the Oakland Coliseum can hold.
Yeah, it's a minor league stadium.
Now listen to this. They plan to host both the A's and the Sacramento River Cats, which are the San Francisco Giants AAA affiliate.
Scheduling is going to get messy.
That's for all 3 seasons, so there are going to be a total of 156 games in that stadium per year, 81 in the majors and 75 in the minors between March and October.
They're going to have to start paying that grounds crew OT.
Most definitely.
They got to work double time.
Yeah, I mean, it's just wild that they will be sharing. And that's a team that, I mean, it's just weird, man. Like, that's a big league team's minor league stadium that you are going to be playing all of your home games in.
Yeah, it really just, it's, I feel just horrible for Oakland Athletics fans. their players, honestly. I mean, you got to feel smaller playing in a minor league stadium as your home stadium for 4 years.
I'm pretty sure if I'm an Oakland fan and I lived in Oakland my whole life, or even for a certain amount of time, I think I'd be going to the Giants.
Just go be a Giants fan.
Because they're moving to Vegas anyway, which isn't particularly close to Oakland. If I could just go across the bay and be a Giants fan, it's not like they really have a deep history against each other or anything, so no love, I guess, no love. There is no love lost there.
Yeah, I'm just trying to, like, put myself in the position of if I was an A's fan, because, like, imagine growing up an A's fan, like, you never want to switch,
yeah.
But, like, I mean, this is just, it doesn't seem like the MLB is doing anything to make this guy stop the shit he's doing, and they just seem like they're okay with how such a historic franchise has just been torn down from the roots up. Like, it's embarrassing.
I guess maybe they think that once the 2028 season comes and they settle in Vegas, then we can start getting back to serious business. But think about that, man. That's 4 years away now.
Yeah, you're telling people we don't care about you for 4 years.
And I don't understand how a free agent would ever want to sign there during that time.
Not.
No. So I mean, it's just like having a waste of a spot.
The A's have to, for the next 4 years, because they're going to be putrid, you'd assume.
Have to be.
They need to draft well, rebuild, and hopefully in 4 or 5 years, maybe they could swing it up, but I don't know.
Maybe once they move to Vegas, they can bring in some free agents, but yeah, that's a long ways away.
The future is sure looking bleak for the Oakland Athletics, or just the Athletics now. I'm calling them Oakland for probably ever. Okay?
It's going to be a problem, yeah. That's going to take a lot to get used to.
Yeah, I don't think I'm ever going to get used to calling them the Las Vegas A's. It's just, it's wrong.
We will move it on over to some good baseball now, and we will talk about Shohei Ohtani and the Los Angeles Dodgers. He hit his first home run for some much-needed insurance in the 7th inning Wednesday. He hit it to make it 5-3, and they ended up winning that game 5-4. He says he's honestly relieved.
Yeah, he was struggling a little bit. I mean, struggling in terms of Ohtani's resume and what we expect out of him. But yeah, it's always nice to get the first homer out because then all the pressure is lifted. Like, you could just keep going now.
They end up finishing this game 5-4, and that completes a sweep of the rival Giants. They win the first game 8-3, second 5-4, and the third 5-4 as well, behind Tyler Glasnow's winning performance.
Yeah, if you take out that one game that they played really poorly in Korea, I mean, they've looked like how exactly we thought.
And that game they played really poorly. They ended up coming back and only losing 15-11, and they were down 1 run late in the game.
Like I said, when that happened, if they score 11 runs, most of the time they're not going to lose the game. I'd say like 99% of the time they're going to win.
That's a deep team, and it is hard to put down for the long haul. They are now 7-2, with their only losses coming on that 15-11 thriller and a 6-5 tightrope job in St. Louis, where they still almost came back. How long has it been since we've seen a team that looks so hard to finish off?
Maybe like 3 years since the Dodgers.
Yeah, just another Dodgers squad.
When they won 110 games or something like that.
Don't get me wrong, the Braves last year
was that
a
year,
really good team, but they lose games.
It was that year where the Giants ended up taking the NL West when they were going 107, 106. Both of those teams were just absolutely filthy.
Yeah. This team just looks like no matter what position they're in, back against the wall, their back is never against the wall, and they can fire their way out of it with all the firepower they got in that lineup.
I mean, think about that. That team was a 106-win team, didn't win their division, and this team is better.
Definitely. Most definitely. This is the best team I've seen in a long, long time.
I don't say it often about, like, top-heavy teams. Like, this team genuinely does have a chance to break the record.
I could see it as well.
They could win $120.
I was saying that when we did our predictions episode. I see them in the 110 range,
it's
and
all
that's
about
crazy to say.
If they stay healthy, man, it's going to be tough to beat them often.
Most definitely.
I don't see them losing many series unless people get banged up.
Nah, and we see that it is just so hard to beat them. It's going to be fun to watch them all year. I mean, really fun to watch them if you're a Dodgers fan. A little harder if you're not.
Yeah, imagine how fun it is for Mookie Betts.
And then,
they just have to pitch to him, so he just keeps hitting them all out.
And leading the league in just about every offensive statistical category.
He was probably the easiest MVP pick I've ever had.
Same here. I think he takes that home for sure. We will move it on over to Interleague now, and we are having a rubber game here, as the Yankees did lose their first game Tuesday 7-0. Didn't have much punch to throw in that game, but this one is not the same. This is an absolute thriller in the rubber game. It ends up going 11 innings, which is increasingly rare these days.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we saw the percentages when we were watching the Mets game yesterday. It was like 74% of the time it ends after the 10th, with the ghost runner being implemented. But they go the extra inning, and it was a crazy game.
Yeah, we're talking about first home runs. Judge ends up clubbing his first of the year Wednesday for 2 runs in the 4th. But the real story of this game comes later on, and it comes because of substitutions, really, and injuries. Both teams end up scoring 2 runs in the 10th, but during the 10th inning on a Anthony Volpe throwing error, Geraldo Perdomo actually injured his leg, and he has to be substituted for. The only infielder left on the Diamondbacks was the DH Ketel Marte. So, I mean, if you end up moving him to shortstop, which he had to do,
you lose the DH spot.
The DH spot is now the pitcher, which is rough.
Yeah, very rough, especially in, what inning did you say that was?
It was the 11th. They had nobody else to come off of the bench. There was not one more position player that could have taken that spot.
And naturally, what happens? His spot comes up.
It's rough, too, because the Diamondbacks actually ended up getting a run in the 11th after the Yankees put up 2.
And they had bases loaded.
They only had bases loaded because Boone intentionally walked Gabriel Marino to load the bases, knowing that there was nobody to substitute for Scott Magoo, who hadn't hit since 2019.
Yeah, he's a reliever. There is no pitchers hitting since 2019. He would never hit.
No, yeah, Boone said even if somebody was on base and this was going to he would have walked in a run to make it 6-5. But he didn't have to because the run came in anyway, so he loaded the bases there. And Scott Magoo ends up striking out looking, wouldn't you know it?
As you'd expect, yeah. I mean, the guy's a relief pitcher that hasn't picked up a bat in 5 years.
The pitches were tough, too. They were debatable, borderline strikes, and I mean, yeah, he had no shot.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter if they were, right down the middle. I'm not thinking... Well, who was it? I think it was... It wasn't Clay Holmes. It was Caleb Ferguson.
Yeah, Holmes got the win there.
So, I mean, Ferguson's been around. He was on the Dodgers. I mean, I don't know. I don't think a relief pitcher that's not picked up a bat in 5 years had a chance, from the jump.
Yeah, the Yankees end up finishing that game off. They've been very good this season in finishing close games, which is a huge indicator that you're going to have a solid year.
That is what good teams do. You win the close games.
The Yankees are now 6-1, and they will head home to face Toronto in their home opener today.
Yeah, they're about to start in an hour and a half.
Arizona is now 4-3 on the year, and they are going to be taking a trip to Atlanta.
Ooh, that's a heavyweight fight.
Yeah, I actually wanted to ask you, do you think Arizona, as they are struggling a bit, and they have had a couple of mental mistakes, and now they don't have Perdomo probably for a couple games, can they turn it around facing what was the best team in baseball in 2023?
It's definitely going to be tough. I mean, we know how good the Braves are, but we also need to acknowledge that the Diamondbacks are far from full strength. They still don't have Erod.
Very true.
They still don't have Monty. They're missing two-fifths of the rotation. So I think they're going to be fine. Yeah. Regardless of how this Braves series goes, they're going to be fine.
That's the thing, is they got to put up a fight here because they go back to Colorado after that.
Yeah, you'll bounce back, hopefully. I mean, you never know, because if you get into a losing streak, we just saw with the Mets, you could spiral, man.
Oh, most definitely.
It could get, not even the Mets, the Marlins.
Yeah, we'll be talking about them next, certainly. I mean, we could talk about them
Good
now,
segue.
honestly.
Let's go right on into the Marlins.
We'll talk about them for sure. The Marlins are the last winless team in Major League Baseball, and they did it in impressive fashion.
Yeah, I thought they were going to get their first win yesterday. When I checked, it was 5-3. The Marlins were on top.
In the 7th inning, and they end up giving up a 5 spot and losing that game 8-5. Even up 5-3 that late, things just melt down. Sixto Sanchez goes 1/3 of an inning and gives up 3 runs. Nardi comes in, blows a save with 2/3 of an innings and 2 runs. So, I mean, they can't even get through an inning without 5-3. It's just one. It's rough, man.
Yeah,
nothing's going right.
It's been a really, really rough start to the Marlins season, which is crazy because they made the playoffs last year for just the 3rd time in their franchise history in a full season. I don't know, man. I don't really know what they do here, and they just got hit with really horrible news as well. I mean, they pitched Sandy Alcantara to the limit, and he tears his UCL. He needs Tommy John, right? They're extra careful with Yuri Perez, putting him on a 20. He's 20.
20, yeah, jeez.
They're extra careful. They sent him down. Everyone was like, why are they sending him down? Because he's on a pitch limit. Everyone was pissed about it. They're still being extra careful. He comes up this year. He needs Tommy John surgery. So they work somebody to the ground. He needs Tommy John. They take a different approach. They're extra careful. It still doesn't matter. They get bit by the injury bug. And yeah, like I just said, that they're spiraling.
Yeah,
man.
They're sitting at 0-8.
They're already, 5 games out of first place?
Yeah,
we just started.
They're the first team to go 0-6 since the 2016 Twins went 0-9, and it looks like they're lining up for that 0-9.
Yeah, it's going to be, that's a disgusting number.
Yeah, the question I wanted to ask you is, will they have the biggest fall-off amongst 2023 playoff teams?
Yes. Yes, I think it's very easy to say that. I mean, if you look at the field from last year, the only real other option would be maybe the Twins.
I thought maybe the Rays as well because of how successful they were last year.
Those teams are not 0-8.
No, and I don't think they will really have many stretches of that cold baseball.
I'll openly admit I thought the Brewers would take a jump back, but they look pretty good. I mean, they play great fundamental baseball. They have insane defense all the way around so far. They've played great defense. They're a very fast team. I think Bryce Terang has 6 stolen bases already, which is wild.
We know Churrio's very fast,
and he hit his first home run out already, so congratulations to him.
A lot of versatile young talent on that team.
Yeah, I mean, they've built a good farm system, and they look better than I thought. So yeah, to answer your question, I do think it's easily going to be the Marlins, and it's easy to say that now that they're 0-8. But I think going into this year, I probably would have agreed with that statement.
Yeah, going into the season, I actually would have given it to the Brewers. That was my original thought. But sitting here now, hindsight is 20/20, and yeah, man, this team is banged up. It's not a great roster when it's fully healthy compared to the other playoff teams.
They have no pitchers, man. Yeah. Alcantara's out. Braxton Garrett's still on the shelf. Perez is now
all
hurt.
They got is Luzardo.
They've got Luzardo, and I think Trevor Rogers is still pitching, or is he hurt too? I don't even know.
Yeah, I mean,
I think I saw he was starting the other day, but still, I mean, he was really good his rookie year, and then he's taken a giant leap back in the past couple of years. So the Marlins are at a tough place right now.
Yeah, I think they will end up having the biggest fall off as well. It'll be interesting to see them try to claw their way back because 0-8 it's a deep hole to try to dig his way out of.
Definitely.
The last thing we will talk about here is this morning, the Phillies have officially released their City Connect uniforms, and I just kind of wanted to break them down and give our opinions on them. I don't think they're the worst in the world, honestly. They have a gradient they start with, I want to say, Eagles type of tealish, greenish blue. Maybe it's an homage to their soccer team as well. They got the bell on the hat, A lot of yellow on there, a little bit more than I expected on the piping on the sides of the jerseys, but besides that, not terrible.
All right, so overall 1 to 10, what are you giving them? Like hat, jersey, pants, because the pants are black, by the way. I hate that.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm not saying I love these jerseys. I probably toss them a 6. I give them a 6.
I think the only good part of this uniform is the hat. I really like the hat. I think it looks cool. The bell on it with the 2 stars next to it in the blue and
it appears the
greenish
skyline is in the bell as well.
Yeah, I like the hat, but the jerseys are awful, I think. And the pants are a step worse. I mean, we need to stop doing colored pants in baseball. Black,
yeah, you're not a fan of the color
green.
Pants.
No, I don't like it. The baseball should be white and gray pants. If they wore these with white pants, I think they would look better.
I think they would look better as well.
I think they would look better. And I think I wouldn't be surprised, just like the Rockies last year, who were wearing their City Connects that were green on green. They ended up changing to the white pants, and it looked better.
Yeah, usually once the City Connect becomes a full part of the jersey rotation, you can kind of have some more freedom with it, like we saw. The Rockies change to white pants.
If they were wearing white pants, I think I would feel very differently about these uniforms.
I don't think the yellow piping works on the white pants, though.
So make it blue. Piping. So make it the midnight green or whatever. There's no yellow in Philadelphia's fit.
I think they're going with the color of the bell.
Okay.
The bell itself.
Okay. Well, I would give it a 3.
Wow, 3 is 3 is a little harsh. But...
Yeah, I mean, if they were wearing white pants, I would also go up to like a 6. But the only thing that I like out of it right now is the hats.
Yeah, fair enough.
I would wear it. Well, I wouldn't because it's a Phillies hat. But if I was a non-NL East fan,
this is always a weird take I see. I see people in the replies saying that they want Nike to keep consistent with the colors and concept of the team. That is not the point of these jerseys.
It's for the city.
City Connect jerseys. That is not the point of
I'm also wondering, like, how does this color combo? Like,
I would think it's just got to be the yellow for the bell and the Eagles green. That's kind of the green of the city. We see WrestleMania is coming to town. They're also using a similar green on their stage as well.
It's darker green. Nah, I'm sorry. I think they look like shit.
Yeah.
It's the hat. The hat's good. I'll give them the hat. The jerseys and the pants are awful.
I toss them a 6. I think you kind of talked me down to a 5, not gonna lie.
I think I'll go a 3, maybe 3.5. And then if they switch them to white pants, I'll jump up to like a 5.5, 6.
Keep your eye on it. We'll have to see the first game that they end up rocking those. Thank you for listening wherever you do. This was episode 89 of the 9 Frames podcast, and it is Friday, April 5th, 2024. I have been Bill Whalen.
And I've been Mike Whalen.
Be sure to catch us, as always, on YouTube at 9 Frames Podcast. Our Spotify is 9 Frames, and our X is at 9 Frames Pod. Please follow us on there, subscribe, like, comment, and share if you enjoy the show.
Yeah, we appreciate it, as always. And I mean, I know it's not a baseball topic. If you're a wrestling fan, be sure to tune into WrestleMania this weekend. It's going to be great.
Should be a lot of fun. Also not a baseball topic, but New York had an earthquake this morning. That's insane. Hope everybody's safe out there. We're in New York. Wasn't too bad here, but my house shook.
Yeah. Getting back to baseball, though, it's been an exciting first week. I mean, Mookie Betts has looked like the clear MVP.
As long as you're not an A's fan, man, then it is not exciting.
Or Marlins.
That is the worst news I've heard in a while. As a mutual baseball fan, as somebody who is a Met fan, pretty far removed from the Athletics, that's embarrassing. Not a good look.
I think the only word that I can think of is embarrassing.
But Ohtani and Judge clubbed their first homers of the year. Many, many more coming. Let's keep our eye on it. Let's stay locked in.
And thankfully, the Mets get off the schneid and avoid a sweep of in the doubleheader. I mean, they lost 2 extra inning games to the Tigers. They get the last one with the help of Pete Alonso, with his 500th career RBI in just 690 games, which is a Mets record.
If it wasn't for the Mets having a clutch 9th inning there, we would be talking about how them and the Marlins were winless.
Very true.
They have their first win, and they have to keep that momentum going.
Boy, I slept better last night knowing that we had a 1 in the win column.
Certainly. You guys enjoy your weekend.
Have a great weekend. We'll see you guys on Monday.